Hello, everyone. So, over Thanksgiving, I decided to do a bit of work on the program, but I was unable to actually record much during that time because you still might hear it a little bit in my voice. I was recovering from a bit of the sniffles and some congestion, so I couldn't speak very well. But I was so engrossed in the code and wanting to get this done that I thought I'll tinker a little bit. I'd also come up with kind of a new idea for how the flashcards would work and figured I would test it out really quick. It would just be a couple of changes and then I'd be good to go. Well, a couple of changes turned into a lot of changes when I started playing around with the new idea that I come up with for presenting the deck. And all things said and done at the end of the day, this is what I've now come up with. So let me just, all right, so it starts as normal. I select a user, but now we've got this. I've already created a deck of cards. I'm going to actually cancel though, because we can create our own from anything here. Now I've set up where I can either do English or Spanish from the lexicon. You have to create it as a lexicon to do that, and I've done that with some Spanish. So Spanish link it over to Ukraine will give me this. Incidentally, if you try to link it to something that doesn't have words, it does this. And since I only go from Spanish to Ukrainian, then that's the only thing that will give me words down there. And I guess I'll have to fix that bug where it's not clearing it out when I uncheck here. But I can also add in English, and since Ukrainian is checked, it's got both of them here. I can include the Spanish as well. And this gives a default for the unlock order that will come in. And it includes everything that I've specified down here. So you can see we've got the English here where hello and hola is there. But if you look down here, you got like hola and privyet, or privit. I think it's privit. It's pronounced slightly different. I took some Russian classes, so I know in Russian it was privyet, but I think in Ukrainian it's privit, something like that. In any case, we will just move this one up to the top because I want that to be the first word that I will learn. Then all I have to do is give it a name here. So I will do this as all languages. And right now I do have to type in the .dat. You don't actually have to because it will still load it even if there's no extension, but I'm not adding an extension to it. So this program will work either way. It'll read the file as long as you are consistent with it. So I will hit enter on that. I do have to fix the text box to allow multi-line for that not to ring. But now we get to select the mode. And this part is the same as what we've had before. So what I'll do here is I'll hit default.
Привіт.
And we have Привіт. And you can see I've got some statistics down here. This is just debug data. This isn't intended to be here forever, but it shows this card's been selected one time, right? And there's a 100 out of 100 chance that this card would be selected. This 100 out of 100 refers to the weight given to the random card. There's only one card, so it starts off with 100. And as a result, with there only being one card, there was a 100% chance that this word would be chosen. It's the only word that's currently there. What I like to do on this is let me go ahead and switch over to translate.
Привіт.
Now we can see it's been shown twice, but now it's a 90 out of 90 chance. That's because I've got it set up where every time you see the card, the weight decreases by 10. That's an arbitrary choice. We can tweak the numbers. And in fact, I would say if you're doing this yourself, you want to tweak this to your taste. I'm like, every time I see it, I want the chance of it to be seen to decrease by that 10% each time. But what happens if I now answer it? So I can say in Spanish. No, I have to answer in Spanish, and I've got that indicated here. But right here with the in Spanish label. But suppose I forget for a second and I put in hello. When I do this, I'm going to get the incorrect answer. Now when I hit next,
Привіт.
it repeats. But now you can see it's 100 out of 100 chance that I will get it again. So the weight went up because I had it incorrect. If I try it again, hit next again,
Привіт.
now it's 110. So you can see if I make a mistake, the weight increases by 10. I've got it maxed out with a cap of 1,000 as the maximum that any word will get to. And it'll go down to a minimum of 1. 1 is the lowest it can go because if it was 0, it wouldn't appear at all. And if we want it to be 0, there's an option to actually lock the word so it doesn't even appear on the list. I'll get to all that later. But again, this video is just going to quickly demo what I'm doing on it, and then I'll go in depth later. So then I look at this and go, oh yeah, this is supposed to be Spanish. So I put in hola, hit enter, it says it's correct.
Привіт.
Now I go next, and you can see it dropped down to 80 out of 80. And I can say again, hola. Next time up, it's 50. So answering the question correctly decreases by 30. Now, why is this relevant? Well, let me go ahead and get this all the way down
Привіт.
to 1. So we're now at 1. There's 1 out of 1 chance that the card would be selected. And what will happen if I come over here and click on unlock words? Well, here we got a notification. You've unlocked, and I have it saying the English word hello matching the Spanish word hola. And that's because, remember, I selected both English and Spanish as the lexicon languages, so I can learn from both languages. And so the English word hello is now matching the Spanish word hola, the way that I've got the lexicon set up. So I hit OK. We're still on this one. We still have to answer this one, or we can skip if we want by changing the mode to a different mode and going back in. But I'll put hola in. It says correct.
Hola.
Now, hola appears, and it's in English. So I have to remember to answer this in English. If you have multiple lexicons, you got to remember what you're going to do. And if you look down here, there was a 100 out of 101 chance that this card would be selected, because this is a new card. It starts at 100. So it's got 100 chances to win this choice, while the other card only has 1 chance. So a total of 101. But this has 100 of those. So it's almost a virtual guarantee, but there is that slight almost 1% chance that it wouldn't choose this. So hola in English, I can put hello, and it's correct.
Hola.
And then, of course, now it's reduced to 70 out of 71 chances. So now it's a 98% chance. Obviously, the first couple of cards you unlock in this way, there will be a high percentage, and you'll have to keep doing this. Oh, one other thing I almost forgot is I've implemented the synonym. So if I put hi, it will come up with this. So I made the background blue just to indicate it. You still get all the same points on the weight because you did answer the question. It says you found a synonym. The expected answer was hello. So it's notifying you that the expected answer, which is the first one, was hello, but this isn't a wrong answer because it is set up as a synonym. So I hit OK on here. You can see now we dropped to 40 out of 41. So I will say, okay, I know it's supposed to be hello, so I'll type hello.
Hola.
And now it's all the way down to 10 out of 11. That's still a 90% chance because there's only 2 cards.
Привіт.
But now each card has a 50-50 shot because there's only 2 cards. And again, if I then forget that this is now Spanish and I say hello here, it's incorrect.
Привіт.
So now this card is going to be the most likely one because it's got a 21 out of 22 chance. And I'll remember, okay, it's supposed to be hola.
Привіт.
Now we're back to 50-50. So this is how the weights are fluctuating. I set it up so that if you're incorrect, the word is more likely to appear. If you're correct, it's less likely to appear. I've also got a thing in the background that measures when it was last presented to you, when you last viewed it. And it's set so that every hour that passes while you have not seen that word, the odds of it appearing increase by 5 points, I believe, right now. And again, these numbers can be tweaked. So after I'm done with this, I can go to bed, come back in the morning. All the numbers will have boosted up a little bit, and I'll help refresh to get it back down to 1 point for each card. So that is the ultimate goal of doing this, is to basically lower this chance all the way down to you have the slightest chance for that card to appear. And when you have hundreds of cards in your deck, then you don't want to see the cards that you're very familiar with, the cards that you've seen recently and the cards that you have used a lot of times. And so therefore your correct responses has lowered it down a long way. You don't want to see those as frequently, so they will be less likely to appear. Again, you will need to tweak the values yourself in order to find the right one. But let's just unlock a whole bunch of words really quick on here. And I don't yet have where you'll unlock all of them, but let's see. So we'll go up to Thursday. I added in the days of the week, and we'll just keep doing this for a bit. I don't know exactly how many items there will be. Okay, here we go. So when you reach the end, it'll say there are no more cards available to unlock in this deck. And you will need to create a new deck in order to access any other ones. So right now it's set up where even if you create a new deck, you wouldn't add it to the current deck. I haven't added that functionality. You would just create a new deck with the same way that we started off with this one. So in this case, now we're at here. So in Spanish, I answer this with hola.
Viernes.
Now this card has a 101 chance out of 2,527. So it's only got a 3.9% chance that this is the card that would appear because we unlocked so many at once. This is in part why you probably, if you're going to go through this, you want to unlock a few at a time and keep the main cards down. Or if you unlock all of them and just continue to use it, eventually the ones that you're not very good at will filter up to the top and the ones you're good at will filter to the bottom. So I'm making this where you can make your best choices for it. People learn at different rates. And as a result of that, you don't want to pigeonhole everybody into the same box. So here, viernes needs to be answered in English. So that is Friday. I'll put that in as correct.
Четвер.
Now, четверг in Spanish. So четверг, I've practiced a bit as I was testing the vocabulary in here. And I believe четверг is Thursday. So jueves? Okay, yes. So this is where if you're going from a language you're not as familiar with into another new language, you can study both languages at the same time as you're doing it this way. That said,
Четвер.
I would actually recommend not doing it this way unless you're like super hardcore into language study. Again, the choice is yours, though. It's flexible enough that you could do that. So again, we just did this one. It does repeat because there was a 2.8% chance it would repeat.
Вівторок.
Now, vtorok is Tuesday, so in Spanish, it would be martes.
Неділя.
And this is now answering in Spanish again, so this would be domingo, I believe. Okay.
Понеділок.
Now we are running Ukrainian to English. So if you're doing this, you have to make sure you're reading the labels, but ponedjeljnik should be Monday.
Sábado.
Sábados, Saturday.
Domingo.
Domingo is Sunday in English.
Lunes.
So Monday.
Понеділок.
And now ponedjeljnik is lunes.
Екзамен.
And that would be examen in Spanish.
Субота.
So we got all that. And this is kind of what I was looking for. So now I haven't implemented a way where we can type accents automatically. But on my computer, I have Spanish. So I can actually do like this and still have the accent. In an upcoming video, after I go through and show the code that's behind the scenes on this one, so everybody's up to date on it, I will actually show in a future episode how we can automatically type the correct language set, even if we don't have it installed on our computer from like Microsoft and things like that, by doing the same type of thing that we did with the enter key on text boxes. It basically, we will look for a key down event and then we will interpret it based on what the language needs. But that's a bit more work, and I didn't want to go too far into this without recording a video. Now that my voice is back, then this was a good time to do this. So I'm just going to stop this now as the demo for this particular state of the program. And in the next video that I do, I will go through the code that is currently in the background. I will just briefly mention where there is one new class that I created, which is called Decks. Originally, I was going to be basing this off a deck of cards, but it turned out that the Decks class is really more of a card class, the way that I designed it, once I changed my idea of how it was going to be displayed. So I might even need to go through and refactor the code before it's time to actually show what it is. But at this point, hopefully, if you're following along, now you're looking at this and you can see some of the abilities that this program can do, and you'll be able to see how it's done in the next video. So I do hope you all have a wonderful day.